For the last 30 days, I've been meditating 5 times a day throughout the day. While times varied, I tried to get a meditation in the morning, one at lunchtime, one after work, one in the evening, and then meditation. Yep, that's a thing. I decided I wanted to do this on New Year's Eve. You know what it's like, you've got all these hopes and dreams to be better, to improve yourself. And in reality, for the last 20 New Year's Eves that I've experienced, I hadn't committed to anything. As you will have seen in my Changing Attitudes video, click the I button if you haven't seen that already. I'm planning for the next 2 years to get better at committing to things. I mean, I'm committing to this channel in the first place. And meditation seemed like a good place to start. It's one of those stereotypical things that people do to improve themselves, to improve their mental health, to get a better understanding of their mind. And given there's a whole load of benefits to it, it sort of astounded me that we don't have this sort of 10-minute period in our day to take out for ourselves. 10 minutes to literally make ourselves feel better seems like no time at all, yet we don't take it. That's why meditation seemed like such a good place to start. And hopefully I'll be able to show you whether it's worthwhile doing it, save you a bit of time doing your own experimentation, and give you a helping hand when it comes to my experiences with meditation. If you want to see my final thoughts on the meditation and exactly what effects it had on me, go to the time that I'm putting now on the screen. Make sure to subscribe if you've not been here before. I do 30-day challenges, I do a bunch of stuff about productivity and mindset and just generally improving your mental health, and I really want to see you stick around. I had a few expectations before I even started doing this. In reality, they were all quite contradictory. That's how my mind often is. Another great reason for why I'm giving meditation a go, to reduce that clutter that's sort of going on in there. My first thought was that maybe it will just do nothing. That's pessimism at its finest. And then there was a little voice in my head that sort of said, what if it fixes everything? What if it improves my mental health and makes my mindset 10 times better than it is at the moment? And then through some pretty sound reasoning, I decided it was probably going to be somewhere in the middle. The issue was I couldn't work out specifically what it might do to me. It's one of those things where you've almost got to try it, but before I did try it, I had to go and do some research. So you've caught me in full-on Hunchback of Notre Dame style here over my laptop, because I'm doing a bit of research on what meditation actually does to your brain. I mean, it does a hell of a lot. That's the reality of it. Firstly, there's a reduction of activity in the default mode network part of your brain, DMN. This is basically the me center of the brain, so it's where most of your narcissistic tendencies sit, and honestly, reduction in this activity makes you more personal, more empathetic. It's really useful. I spoke about this in a short recently, but it also helps to preserve grey matter in the brain. Now, there are 2 explanations for this, one of which is that the reduction in stress that meditation causes actually preserves the grey matter that's existing in your brain and it deteriorates slower than it normally would. There's also another explanation that basically involves something called dendritic branching, which is where new synapses are created within the brain. And that's associated with really intense stimulating mental activity such as meditation. Now, this could therefore mean that there's actually some creation of grey matter going on in the brain, and this is counteracting the deterioration. So there's still the same amount of grey matter because more's being created, which sort of acts as if it's being preserved. It also actually changes the structure of your brain. There's an increase in cortical thickness in the hippocampus, which governs learning and memory. You also see decreases in brain activity in the amygdala, and the amygdala governs fear and anxiety. Reduced levels means reduced anxiety. So with all of this, let's transfer it to what it actually means for us in non-scientific terms. Well, it reduces stress. An 8-week meditation course was seen to reduce the inflammatory effect of high cortisol levels. It controls anxiety as well. An 8-week course of meditation reduces the number of cytokines in the brain, which is something that leads to depression. Fewer cytokines, less chance of depression. It can help to reduce addiction, both with food and alcohol. It was seen that cravings were lessened by an extended course of meditation. I mean, there's a whole world of stuff it does. It can improve blood pressure, improve your sleep, lengthen your attention span, and helps with age-related memory conditions such as dementia. There's no doubt it does a whole load of stuff for you and for your brain. While many people think meditation's this sort of spiritual crap almost, while its history may be somewhat rooted in that side of things, if that's how you think, it has really tangible effects on your mind. And that's why I'm so glad I chose to do this. Now that I understood what meditation was doing to my brain, I could open myself up to that spiritual side of things. And so I folded myself up into the lotus position and got to work. No. While the lotus position and its ability to dislocate my hip is a very spiritual position, it's not how I'm going to be tackling this meditation. More often than not, while you're meditating, you'll find yourself sat in your office chair or on your sofa or lying in bed. The thing is, as long as you're in a position you can ground yourself and feel the contact with something else, with good posture and the ability to breathe, you're good to go. You'll find yourself with your hands on your lap, your feet flat on the floor, and ensuring you can focus on these contacts and ground yourself in the position you're in. That's how I'm going to be meditating. So these 30 days went like a flash, and by the time it was all over, I'd learnt a lot. Here are my final thoughts. So I finished my 30 days and I did manage to meditate 5 times a day. I wasn't 100% sure I could do it, but I managed it. And I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you that it changed my life. It didn't, in reality. But it did have many positive effects on me, my mindset, and actually gave me quite an introspective commentary of the way I think and the way I approach things. It firstly set me up in a routine that was centered around calm and well-being. Once I started doing this, I had 5 periods of the day that were there specifically to almost factory reset my mind and stop me from basically getting overly stressed throughout the day. On that stress reduction front, it did really help me, and for that reason alone, I'd recommend trying it. Secondly, and this is going to sound pretty different to my normal personality and cynicism, it really gave me a greater appreciation of the world around us. I think we often get fed this negative picture of the world, especially at the moment with everything that's going on, and we never really take a bit of time to sit down and think about the good things we've got and have a bit of gratitude. It gave me a few moments in the day where I could just feel content and be happy with the situation I'm in, and that built up a general centre of gratitude within myself that probably wasn't there before. But while I've painted this picture of sort of hippie mindfulness perfection, there were definitely some downsides to what I did and the approach I took. 5 times a day was just too many occasions for meditating. I found that I'd go into some sessions and I'd just rush through them for the sake of rushing through them because I knew I needed to get my 5 meditations done in the day. I honestly think it would be more worthwhile to do 1 half-hour session in the morning or in the middle of the day to sort of reset yourself, because you go in with the right intention. By doing 5, 6 to 10 minute sessions in the day, some of them will be really great, and by the time the 10 minutes is over, you'll be a bit gutted that it's done. But some of them you'll try and do a 3-minute breathing exercise just for the sake of saying you're meditating once. It didn't give you the right training and mindset that you need for meditation. And it brings me on to my key learning from this experience. Intention is everything when it comes to meditation. I won't lie, I didn't start this exercise because I really wanted to boost my mental health or change my mindset or anything like that. In reality, I started this because I wanted to get a video out about it. I went in with the wrong intention and I just knew that I needed to do my 5 meditations a day to get the content out when I was done. The problem was that meant I was meditating for the sake of meditating instead of actually doing it for any positive reason. And it took me probably a week to actually realise and focus on what my intention truly was. It wasn't the right one, and until I started getting into it properly and trying out new techniques, mindful walking, mindful eating, was it really clear that I needed to just throw myself into it without judgment or cynicism. I even occasionally put myself in the lotus position that I was so adamantly against earlier in the video, and while it did hurt, it was interesting to try it. In reality, meditation is a training exercise. That's what it is. It trains your mind, and especially if you're starting from square one. The problem is, we get so caught up in our own minds, we've almost trained ourselves to do this. And so you have to unlearn those bad habits and then start training yourself in the meditation. If you go in wanting this instant gratification, this perfect meditative experience straight away, which is the mindset I was talking about in my video last week, you're not going to get anywhere near as much from the exercise as you would if you went in with no expectations whatsoever. You need to commit to this experience, and while it won't change your life in 30 days, you will start to see some tangible effects on your mind and general outlook on life if you keep going with it. I personally will be carrying on, not as often, but I want that same experience that I was having before, that bit of routine where I could factory reset my mind. I mean, looking back, I did have lower stress levels when I was doing it. I was sleeping more quickly, which is something I've struggled with before, and I do have a genuinely more positive outlook on a lot of the things that previously I'd never even thought about. For the last few days when I haven't been doing the meditation, I've taken a couple of days off since finishing the 30 days, I've missed the feeling, and I can feel more stress and anxiety building up in me when I'm not meditating properly. As such, I need to get back into that routine of doing it once, maybe twice a day, just so I can feel that sense of relief and take some moments just for myself. Honestly, just give it a go, because it may give you a completely different outlook than you expect it to. So we're coming to the end of the video. I just want to point out that over on TikTok, I'm doing 30 days of mindfulness, introducing new techniques each day that you can use just to take a minute out of your day to just be with yourself. So if you want to go over and follow us there, the link's in the description. If you've enjoyed this video and like this sort of 30-day challenges, make sure to let me know by liking the video and commenting below, letting me know if you're gonna actually do this. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell, all that stereotypical YouTuber stuff, and I hope to see you very, very soon.